The ending to Dark Road had a few moments that would blow any Kingdom Hearts fan's mind. From Vor tossing boulders with her bare hands to finding out Xehanort just shaved his head, we learned a lot. I mean, like, actually, we did. I want to talk about and revisit some of what I thought were the craziest things to find out from Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. Now, we got almost 3 hours of new story content. That's a lot of dialogue, so some of the tiniest details that are and will end up being major down the line knowing Kingdom Hearts, I will cover in another video. Which, if you, want to catch that content, subscribe. So a scene I thought was really cool from Xehanort and interesting was him knowing about Vanitas. What do I mean by that? Well, Vanitas has been theorized to be a true darkness for a while now, since the concept was brought up in Union Cross. Now, some of us just assume Xehanort was oblivious to a lot of things happening in the background, though give Xehanort some credit. This man is very smart and observant, a trait we can see he's had for a long time. Xehanort knowing about these true darknesses from his master Odin would tell the same story to Vanitas as a darkness himself to see what he thought, kind of playing around with Vanitas and saying how if he were the darkness in question, why would he hide? This making Vanitas a bit nervous and cautious of Xehanort, as he would kind of tie Vanitas into a corner by revealing Ventus's heart wasn't actually split into light and darkness, and brings up the question of where did Ventus come from, and that Vanitas just likely came along with him from then. This scene was really awesome to witness, as seeing Vanitas put into a corner like that when he's normally super cocky and just wants chaos, we actually saw Vanitas a little nervous in this scene, which we don't really get to see from him, well, ever. Bragi revealed himself to be Luxu all along. What are you talking about? He is Luxu! He is Luxu! You think you're strong enough to beat me? As if... I was all over this. I already loved Luxu from the epilogue in Kingdom Hearts 3. That skyrocketed Luxu, Xigbar, Bragi now up to the top for me. Top 3 characters. I am in love with reveals like that, and that made just that character one of the most interesting and entertaining characters in Kingdom Hearts. Now, we've been hearing about the Bragi is Braig Luxu theories for a long time since Dark Road was initially revealed with all of its characters, and it was purely because Bragi, Braig, just switch around the I and the G and you get that name. And I was thinking to myself, that has to not be it, because it's almost too perfect, too obvious. And it was, and I still got surprised anyways, because I wasn't expecting it, because it was too obvious. I absolutely loved this, and the main thing that I loved about this was when Bragi was initially revealed to be Luxu, when Baldur's darkness was kind of like shaking, quivering a little bit, scared, Bragi just puts his hands in his pocket while being threatened, talking about how it would be a shame to get rid of this body already, and then hits us with the classic as if quote. I loved it. Just the build up to that, I screamed. It was great. It was just great. We just need more of that in Kingdom Hearts, period. Definitely one of my favorite moments from Dark Road. Xehanort finding Ventus by talking to the magic mirror was for sure a surprise for me. And when I thought about it deeper, it's the idea that Xehanort, even as an old man, wanted to see his friends from his dreams, and Ventus being one of them makes this plot especially interesting and sad. Very sad. Now, I'm wondering how exactly Lauriam was found. Because if Ventus was found in this way, with tips from the magic mirror, how was Lauriam found by chance? Like, was Lauriam found in the same way? Or did Lauriam just come into contact with Xehanort? I definitely think we need a story in the future telling us how exactly Lauriam got in contact with Xehanort, as I'm sure Lauriam is going to be a very important character in the future. I mean, we have another master, like, of the old days walking around, so it has to happen. Now, this was a theory that was in the back of my mind for a while, but I definitely wasn't actively thinking about while watching Dark Road. Xehanort being related to Ephemer is pretty crazy, and was something heavily theorized back in the day when Ephemer was first revealed as a character, because people associated the white hair with Xehanort, and they're like, okay, these two might end up being related. I remember these theories were rampant all the time. After a while though, as Unicross's story progressed and progressed, these theories were eventually dropped, or at least not talked about as much. But still, seeing it confirmed here is crazy, and having Ericus and Xehanort be as close of friends as they are makes their dynamic that much greater, because their grandparents were friends as well, assuming Ericus is related to Brain like minifigure, which we'll probably get an actual answer on in Missing Link. But that's just really cool to me. I love that. A scene that might end up being one of my favorite scenes from Kingdom Hearts is another scene with the player. The player being the blue-robed figure. We raised Xehanort. We should be ashamed. The player was revealed to be reincarnated into this blue-robed figure that would end up raising Xehanort. This was a big twist to me, because I always thought after the ending of the Union Cross, when we saw that cutscene talking about the reincarnation, and then the scene at the beginning of Dark Road, they purposely made us think Xehanort was a reincarnation of the player, and that's how Xehanort got his memories. But all along, the player wouldn't reincarnate into Xehanort, not the baby we see on screen here, but into the blue-robed figure that would raise Xehanort. Again, we raised Xehanort. Our OCs raised Xehanort. I'm assuming the player also reincarnates into the player character in Missing Link, so I'm excited to see how that turns out. The player honestly is rising up there for me as a character in Kingdom Hearts. I was always a decently sized fan of them. I became a big fan of them at the ending of Union Cross, and now I'm an even bigger fan of them. So I'm curious what Missing Link is going to do and how high up the player is going to get, like, on my Kingdom Hearts character list. And the last thing I would like to talk about in terms of big reveals from the finale, the Child of Destiny. Xehanort is the Child of Destiny. Interesting. I kind of want to dive even deeper into this topic in another video, because I am very much so still thinking about my thoughts, collecting my thoughts on this. But I suppose if I did have to say something about Xehanort being the Child of Destiny, I would say, Sora? Now that will be all for today's video. I know I didn't go over every single reveal that happened in Dark Road, but these were some of the biggest things I felt like happened in Dark Road. Some of the things that stood out to me the most, at least. There are a lot of other things that happen in Dark Road that I am definitely going to go way more in depth on in some other videos. Even some of these things individually I'll probably cover in videos and go even more in depth about. But I just hope you guys enjoyed the video at the end of the day, and tell me what some of your biggest reveals, biggest moments were, biggest memories were from experiencing Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. I would totally love to hear about it. This story was magnificent. I loved it, loved it, loved it. Definitely one of my favorite stories in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, which the Key Saga has been providing a lot of those as of late. The story for the future of the series is going to be very exciting to witness, and if even an ounce of this type of writing, this type of storytelling, characterization is in Kingdom Hearts 4, then I think we are just in very good hands. But that will about do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, share it with a friend or family member, and last but not least, if you're not already, and once we become a part of the union, all you have to do is hit that red subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, you guys. Bye.
Now she's a daydreamer. She's always thinking about him. No more room in this picture for you to fit in. Now she's crying on the phone, telling you she's not good enough for him. When you think that she is perfect.